Do you remember that lady, Gillian McKeith? That really annoying lady on TV who had very strict ideas about the fact of what you eat affects your body to the extent that you become the food that you eat. And she would take a sample of your poo just to prove it. Do you remember it? Well, if you do, you'll remember that it was quite gross and quite extreme, especially for those times. However, as harsh as she was, it would seem that she was right in her thinking and managed to turn around some of her toughest clients to get the results that she wanted. And a lot of their problems were entwined with very emotional issues. What she revealed was that food had an impact on your body on all levels, mentally, physically, and in your well-being. It left a memory imprinted on you. To the same end, emotions and behaviours have the same impact and that same memory imprint. We have many behaviours, relationship behaviours, which are repeated time and time again and allow us to end up doing it time and time again, engaging in the same conversations with the same people, having the same outcome, and we get fed up with these behaviours and encouraging the wrong people into our lives, the wrong relationships, the relationships that don't work, relationships which are never going to work, and repeating these behaviour patterns time and time. However, we have no idea how to make these changes to stop these behaviours or why they even happen. Behaviour patterns are held in our bodies in the same way that the memory of what you have eaten is. Behaviours or circumstances which happen to us create a memory in our bodies like a muscle memory does, which we then default to and repeat. It could be the death of someone close to you or losing someone in a relationship. The grief that you feel denotes how you live your life going forward, especially if you stay in that grief and hold that emotion. It's not just from the circumstance that it derives from. It is from any adverse circumstance that we encounter, but I've used the loss of someone as this will provide a relevance for many people. This feeling will then help to create and shape your life and your relationships and your behaviour patterns going forward, or anything that you indulge in. It's not your fault that you live like this. It's human nature to take on the emotions that we live through because we've never been taught how to clear them from our bodies. So we pause, hold and repeat. Pause, hold and repeat. And because we hold and repeat, we get used to the behaviour that comes with this feeling or this emotion, which in turn has arisen from the circumstances that have happened to us. This feeling, the behaviours that come from it don't generally feel very nice or very good, but because they feel so familiar and you're so used to feeling them, it's almost comforting because you know where this feeling is and you know where it's come from. And you also know how long you've been sitting in it. So therefore, it's really hard to move out of it. You need to be aware of what emotions you feel and why you feel them. The awareness of this itself will help you move away from that emotion as it disperses. And when you feel that resistance with things you do or people you deal with, then you know that it's time for change. Just this recognition in itself will allow you to feel some freedom from that feeling and will start to give you space to allow you to feel good about you, to like you, and to actually maybe start to love you. It's normal to hold situations. It's human nature. However, the more we hold, the more we bring in and the more it's repeated. And when we repeat and tell people what our story is, then we take our body back to that situation, back to that time when our circumstance happened, and then we give that feeling or that emotion that comes with that circumstance much more strength as we make that memory stronger and encourage it to stay with us just a little while longer. Every time you talk about something that's happened to you in your past, it takes on its own life. That story gains its strength and again reminds you of the pain that you went through. You feel that pain in your body because your emotions, which were attached to that circumstance, arise again, just so you can feel the pain again. So why would you do this? You do this because it feels familiar. And even though it's uncomfortable, because it's a familiar uncomfortable, you're willing to go through it time and time again. People will say that my story has made me who I am. And this is true. Our experiences are what give us knowledge. And sometimes it's the knowledge that you need not to go in that direction again. But it doesn't have to be your future. You need to start considering what part of your past no longer serves you, so you can then start to create your future. To do this, you need to capture those moments where you feel happy in your day and take a mental note of what they are and do more of it. What is it that makes you feel happy? What is it that makes you happy? And you know, when you have that feeling of happiness and you're enjoying your life, that feeling of uncomfortable has no place in you. It can't sit in you at that point. It just isn't sustained. So the more happy you are and the more you make yourself happy, the less that feeling, that familiar, uncomfortable feeling, that pain will be able to stay in your body. Be selfish and do this all the time. Do it as much as you possibly can. This is about you. Start to create your future. Don't get me wrong, I don't want you to live in a future mode and always thinking forward. I just don't want you living in your stories of your past. I want you to feel happy constantly and taking the power you have to create a good future, a better life for yourself. Imagine yourself in a different life. If it's a new house, imagine you living there. If you can't see the house completely, then think about how it would feel for you to be somewhere in your new house, how wonderful it feels. Your life feels complete. You feel totally at home within this house. If it feels spacey and light, that will feel good too. You deserve this house. You deserve this move. You deserve the next step in your life. You need to feel good about yourself and see your life expanding. Because remember, when we make material changes and we bring this into our lives, it often doesn't bring about change in us. We have that responsibility to make that change, no one else, just us. And this effect of intentions and what you put out there of what you want, you could do this on any level. You can do this about money, you can do this about, a new job. You just have to think about how it would make you feel, not what you can do with it, how it would make you feel, what your soul would feel, what you would feel. Would you feel happy with it? And make yourself happy in that moment and bringing the happiness into your life on a daily basis. You have to stop talking about your past. Start talking about your future. When you've decided how you want your future to become, then divorce your past completely. And the more focus you take away from the past, the less pain it will cause you, and the more you can focus on bringing in a new and better life, one which you deserve. Thank you.